So before I made the law of attraction work for me, I did literally everything wrong. But there was one thing that made everything worse. And a lot of people have it. You might also have it. So listen up. In 2017, I started painting. And I was doing really bad. I just failed the photography business. I needed to go back to my mom's place. My confidence was extremely, extremely low. Then in 2018, I was able to work for someone that already had a business. And she was doing pretty well. I mean, it was in the beginning, but working with her, we made 2 million in a year. Yeah. So they were not doing bad. And from these people, I learned a lot. But while I was there, I was living with them. So it was basically a woman and her husband, right? And I was living with them. And I actually always wanted to be self-employed. I always wanted to be free. I always wanted to have my own thing. I wanted to have lots of money, abundance, and be free and do what I love. So I knew somehow that this is not going to be the end path. I knew it's just a part of the whole path, right? It's just like I needed to do this in order to learn certain things. So 2018, I started working there. And it was okay. It was good. It was I could build my confidence. I started, meeting new people, and it was actually good. But on one point, I realized that the desire came up again, that I want to do my own thing. And sometimes we worked till 10 p.m., because since I was living there, I couldn't really set boundaries. I didn't have my own space, and I was available constantly. And sometimes we had events, so we were working the whole weekend and had maybe Monday off, but on Monday I was like destroyed. Anyways, it was a crazy journey. It was actually really cool. It was an adventure, but the desire still came up that I want to do my own business, that I want to be self-employed. And what happened then, by the way, guys, it's extremely cold. I'm still in Switzerland, and I'm gonna go back to Bulgaria on the 27th. So you see the snow here. It's crazy snowy here, but yeah. It's quite nice. It's just a bit hard to talk here. I'm used to talking in my environment. So back to the story. What happened around, I would say, 2018, 2019, the desire came up more and more and more, right? It became really strong. But then every single time I was thinking about quitting the job and doing my own thing, in my mind, I saw everything breaking down. I saw myself struggling. I saw myself landing on the street. I saw myself not having any money. It was like the worst scenario. And for some reason, I couldn't get it out of my mind. So every time I thought about quitting the job, I couldn't get this scenario out of my mind. So long story short, in 2019, I started selling more art. I made 15,000 within 6 months, which is not a lot. I mean, you cannot live from it. But for art, it was pretty good. And it gave me a certain confidence. At the same time, I saved money from this job, even though I earned less than the minimum in Switzerland, right? But I was still able to save quite a lot of money. And 1 year later, in 2020, everything shifted because of this one thing that I'm gonna share with you now. And this one thing is actually pretty simple. You hear some people talk about this in the manifestation space, actually not that much. There are not so many people that are talking about this one thing. So it's very interesting. So yeah, in 2020, finally, I had enough, right? I made enough money. I had enough and I made enough money. I saved enough money. Then I also made enough money from my art. In 45 days, I made 26,000. And of course, I mean, this gave me a lot of confidence to finally take the step and quit my job. But on the other hand, I was still thinking, why not? I can still have the job, right? I can have the job, do the art on the side, because then I have more money. That was actually my plan. It made sense. And I didn't want to quit my job right away, because this was the first 45 days that I made real money with my art, because I just started. Then the universe pushed me to just make a decision. That's the word, decision. So this is the thing that's holding you back. Indecision. Now I already said it. And to tell you how it went with my story is that we started fighting. And she started screaming at me. And she wanted me to do things that I didn't want to do, that I wasn't good at, and that I didn't want to do. And yeah, it was just like a back and forth. And I got just really, really angry and really pissed. And we started fighting. And at that point, actually, I made the decision before we started fighting. That's how it was. We had a conversation. And in the conversation, I tried to fix the whole situation with us, right? To make it better, because, you know, it wasn't the best work environment, to be honest. Not to say anything bad about them, because I also learned a lot and it was great, but still, it wasn't what I wanted, and the work environment wasn't good. And I was also supposed to be an entrepreneur. Before we even started fighting, I had a conversation with them. And in the conversation, something switched in my mind. And suddenly I made a decision that this is it. I'm done. I made the decision and everything shifted. My whole energy shifted. I felt powerful. I felt full of energy. I felt so alive. It was crazy just because I made a real decision. I made a real freaking decision. And everything changed. My whole energy changed. And then I told them as well, and then we started fighting because of the decision. But the decision was made, and that's the powerful thing. That's what I wanted to talk about. Decision. How many people talk about that? This is something that many people are missing. As long as you're indecisive, nothing is going to manifest. There is something positive in not deciding. The positive thing about not deciding is that all possibilities are still open. But you cannot manifest anything into your reality as long as you're not deciding for a possibility. You know what I mean? And that's what holds back your manifestation. If you are still indecisive, if you're still thinking about going back and forth, still unsure, indecisive, oh, I don't know, let's see, you're not going to manifest anything. Nothing can manifest into your reality with that kind of indecisiveness. And I see that all the time. It's the same thing with a goal. If you want to quit your job, you have to make a decision. If you cannot get yourself to decide not to quit your job. Decide for a different path. Decide to save money and then quit your job once you're ready. Right? But don't even think about things. Like, make a decision. That's the thing. If you think about quitting your job, but you cannot decide not to quit it. Just decide to save money. Make decisions in your life, because when you decide, you cut out all other possibilities. That's what decision means. It means cutting off other options. And that's what a lot of people are scared of. They don't want to take full responsibility. They don't trust themselves enough to make a decision. But it's so important, because nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to happen in your life if you can't decide. So look at this now. Yeah. I hope you know what I mean. So indecisiveness is holding you back. If you want to manifest anything in your life, but you still cannot decide. You're still indecisive. It's not going to happen. And that's also like what I think Tony Robbins talks about that a lot. And he's full of energy, right? It's like decide, commit, take massive action. And in the manifestation space, we sometimes forget that. We think we can just stay in the thinking space. And the thinking space, don't misunderstand me wrong, it's 99% of the work. But still, in the end, you have to decide, which is also a mental process. A decision is still mentally. And it shifts your energy. It shifts your energy and focuses on one thing, in one direction. And it's extremely powerful. Because when I made this decision to quit my job, I did it. And I was full of energy. I became a new person by this decision. Because I decided I'm done with the job. I'm a new person. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an artist. And the decision was made. And I can tell you, before I made the decision, I was lacking energy. I was going back and forth. I wasn't sure. And it's not a good space to be in. Indecisiveness makes you slow. It takes energy away from you, actually. I mean, sometimes, as I said, it's nice to be in the space where you have all these possibilities. We probably all know this feeling of, just being open to all possibilities. It's a beautiful space to be in. On the other hand, if you really want to manifest things in your life, like your dream physique, dream career, make more money, dream partner, all these things, then you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision. Who is your SP? Or like, who do you want? Like, write your list, make a decision. This is what I want. That's it, period. Because then things start to shift into this direction. I hope that makes sense, guys. This is not my usual environment, as I said. I'm usually like in my beautiful apartment in Bulgaria. I will be back soon, the 27th of November. So when you see this video, I might already be back. And then we make the other videos. But there is still one thing that you need to manifest your dreams. Because I try to make these videos on point and tell you everything that you need to know. But if you want to know what I learned over the last 8 years about manifestation, about the law of attraction, click the link somewhere in the video and let's manifest our dreams. Okay, the last view, look at this. Isn't this beautiful? I love this place. Switzerland is beautiful. So you have to come once. And if you want to connect to me further, come into my Manifest Your Dreams school community. The link is below and we'll talk. Okay? So let's rock it. Let's manifest our dreams because it's 100% possible. Make a decision for what you want and let's get there rather sooner than later. Bye guys.